Okay, so we're doing stomach channel. I'm starting with stomach 1 on the face. And first I'm going to go through the pathway of the stomach meridian on the face. It starts under the eye, comes straight down, and then comes, it goes in and around the mouth. And on the, no, it's good, on the jawline, and then turn your head that way, please. And then it comes here and it bifurcates. One part comes down and one part goes up, right? And it comes down to the clavicle, goes across the clavicle to the foresun line, and then comes straight down. Okay, so first we're going to look at stomach 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. Okay, so look straight into the lens. Looking straight ahead, we're going to find stomach 1 in the eye orbit. So not on the bone, but above the bone, directly under the pupil. That's stomach 1. Stomach 2 is going to be on the bone. If you come straight down from the pupil, you'll feel that there is a little foramen there, or foramen, whichever way you want to say it. Again, straight down from the pupil. And then stomach 3, coming straight down from the pupil, at the bottom of the alanasi where they cross, right here. So stomach 1, 2, and 3 are in line with the pupil. Stomach 1's hard to see, but it's there. Okay, and then we find stomach 4 on the nasolabial groove, the continuation of the nasolabial groove, which it starts here, and we can usually see everybody there, but if we can't find it, if we've got somebody that's young and 20 and no lines, and so we could say, smile please, and then we can see the line right here. Okay, you can relax. And I'm just going to look at the book real quick. It says it is 0.4 sun lateral to the corner of the mouth. And that is exactly where that is. So this is stomach 4. And so stomach 1, 2, 3, and 4 are on the front. Okay, so now we're going to 5 and 6. 5 is on the jawline and anterior to the masseter muscle. The masseter muscle is back here. And it comes up to the zygomatic arch. And it has 2 layers that basically go kind of like this, okay, on the jaw. And so I'm going to ask my patient to clench their teeth. Can you just clench your teeth together? And I can feel the front of the masseter muscle right there. And I want to go in front of it. So here's the muscle. I want to go in front of it on the jawline. That's stomach 5. And stomach 6, we want to find the angle of the mandible. You can see the curve right here. Here's the very corner. This part's going up. This part's going forward. Okay, so from there I'm going 1 finger breadth up, 1 finger breadth in, right here. And can you clench again? Yep. Okay, and relax. When they clench, your finger will be at the high point of the masseter, and when they relax, you'll feel that you're inside of a little depression there. Okay, so I'm going to mark those. Clench again. Okay. Relax. 5, 6. Now locating 7, I want to find the zygomatic arch here, the bone, and I want to be in front of the tragus of the ear right here. Okay, so I can already feel a depression right there, and that's where I think it's going to be, but what I usually do is I take a few fingertips right here and I ask them to open their mouth, and you can see it push out right there. Relax. Okay, so that's stomach 7, right where that condyle pushes out. Go ahead and open again. You see the condyle come forward right here. Can you do it again? Right there. Okay, and relax. So we have them open their mouth to feel the condyle of the mandible, but we needle with the mouth closed. That's stomach 7. And then can you turn back forward? And stomach 8 is on the corner of the forehead up here. And we can measure it going straight up from the pupil, half a sun into the hairline, and from the midline, half a sun in. And we take that measurement and then we double it. And then that's where we're going to find stomach 8. To confirm, I'm going to palpate to find a suture. Okay, and I had to go back just a little bit on our body model to find the suture joint. And it just feels like a very small depression. Now, some books will say this is directly up from stomach 7, which would put me in that pretty much that same vicinity, but I got to know that it's basically where that temporalis frontal bone, and parietals meet, okay, right in this area. Okay, so that's stomach 8. Stomach 9 is level with the laryngeal prominence, is between the SCM and the thyroid cartilage. Okay, so I'm going to find the prominent part of the thyroid cartilage, which I locate right here. And I'm going to have my body model turn their head. Turn your head to the left.
That's the right.
To the right, thank you. And I'm finding the SCM here. And then I can palpate. And we're going to palpate about 1.5 cent over right here. And I'm going to feel for the artery. So I find the artery here, cartilage here. I'm going to go in between the two. So I would put my needle right here. Prominence. Now in order to find stomach 10, I got to find stomach 11 next. Stomach 11's at the base here of the neck, and it is directly below stomach 9 in a depression between the sternal and clavicular heads of the SCM. So can you turn your head to the right again? Here's the sternal head of the SCM. I can palpate for the clavicular head here. Stomach 11 is right here, above the clavicle. And then what I want to do for stomach 10 is on the anterior border of the SCM, halfway between stomach 9 and stomach 11. So please turn your head to the right. So here I want to go halfway and on the anterior border. Okay, so stomach 9, stomach 10, stomach 11. It's easiest to locate stomach 9 and then stomach 11 and then find 10 halfway between and on the anterior border. I'm going to zoom. So stomach 9, stomach 10, stomach 11. Okay, you can stay just like that, please. Okay, now we're going to 12 and 13, which are 4 sun lateral. You can just relax a little, it's fine, but just stay here. So the distance from the sternal notch, or the midline of the body, to the acromion process, and notice I'm not out here on the tissue, I'm up here feeling the bone. That's where I want to go from. So I'm going to take 0 and 8, right? I'm going to put my 0 here, and I want to stretch my 8 to here, to this bone. And I want to be at 4 sun, which is right here. So stomach 12 is behind or above the clavicle, and 13 is directly below. Okay, stomach 12, stomach 13. So stomach 14 through 18 are located based on intercostal space. So stomach 14 is in the first intercostal space and 4 sun lateral to the midline. This is the 4 sun line, and we're going to use that all the way down, okay, to stomach 18. So 12, 13, and when I come down from 13, I can feel a rib, and then I can feel intercostal space. We can find the ribs over here and the space in between, and that's what I want to follow over. So there's 14, find the rib, come down 1, 15, next rib, 16, stomach 12 through stomach 18. Oh, back that up. Stomach 12 through stomach 18 are all 4 sun lateral to the midline. 4 sun. When we get to 19, it's going to go to 2 sun. So we got to find the ribs. Okay, so I can find the ribs out here. I find the edge of the ribs cartilage, and that's going to go up under the bra usually just a little bit. Okay, and we would normally locate this laying down, but I don't have my table at home, so we're just going to do this standing. And anyway, right now, if you're using yourself as a body model, you'll be doing it standing anyway, in a mirror probably. So we have to find where the ribs come together. Okay, and I'm going to put my 8 there. Okay, and that's a little under the bra line. And then I'm going to put my 0 right here, which actually almost works out exactly. Now, 6 cun above the umbilicus, which is right here, and 2 cun lateral to the midline is where I'm going to find stomach 19. Okay. Now, if I come from up top, let me hold that mark. Okay, here's my 6 cun marker. I'm actually going to put a little dot. I can put my 0 here, and then I can measure my 8 up, which hers actually falls into the exact measurement, which is kind of nice. So here's my 6 cun line, 6 cun measurement. I'm just going to put a line there so I know. Now if you've got dots, you can just use a dot. Use a different color dot than the ones that you're doing. So that's 6 cun. I'm going to zoom in now. Oh, and we're going to measure 2 cun lateral to the midline. Now, if your body model is laying down, if you've got somebody at home, then you're going to have to palpate. Hi. This is the 4 cun line. If I follow that down, I'm out here. Okay, so I have to go halfway. This is 4 cun. This is the midpoint. Halfway. That's where 19 is going to be. That one comes off like no problem. Okay, so that's stomach 19. So now that we got that. Now another way to measure it is if you can find the lateral border of the abs and then halfway. So lateral border's here. That's the midline. The navel's the midline. Halfway. Now, I just marked the point right here. I'm going to zoom in now so you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so here's 19. This is 25. Okay, and I put that on there because the next ones are just 1 cun apart as we come down. So we know this, if we're measuring this is 0, and we have 8 cun all the way up here. This is 6. Okay, so now you can measure from here. And I'm going to just try to make this as simple as possible. And I'm going to ask my body model, please hold this here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold tight. I'm going to stretch it. And 1 cun apart. That's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and I already marked 25. Okay, so that is 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So we measure these the same because we measure 8 cun, 0 to 8 where the ribs meet. 19 lands at 6 cun superior to the umbilicus. 20 will be 5 cun superior, and so on all the way to 25, and each of these is 2 cun lateral to the midline. 2 cun lateral to the midline. So here we have stomach 25, level with the umbilicus, and 2 cun lateral to the midline. And now we're going to locate 26 through 30. And what we're going to do, I'm not going to be able to do the bottom 2, but I'll show you how to locate them. So you can locate them on yourself or somebody in your house. So the distance from the navel, or the umbilicus, to the top of the pubic bone is 5 cun, no matter what it looks like. Okay, so can you locate your pubic bone? I'm just going to have the body model locate it. Okay, so pubic bone is here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 5 cun. 0 to 5. Can you hold that there on the pubic bone? And these are also 2 cun lateral to the midline. So I'm just going to stay in line. So that's 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 30 is going to be just above the bone, 2 cun lateral to the midline. And that's our points for now. So let's just do a quick review and let's look at something. The distance from where the ribs meet each other, Thank you. So let's just do a little review. The distance from where the ribs meet each other to the umbilicus is 8 sun. The distance from the umbilicus to the pubic bone is 5 sun, always, no matter what. And if you look at this on our body model, there's 8 sun. It's actually like even almost longer or about the same comparatively, and that happens sometimes. In some people, the distance from the navel to the pubic bone is very short, and some people it's a lot longer. But it's always 5 sun, no matter what it looks like to you. You measure it as 5. The points from stomach 12 to stomach 18 is 4 sun lateral to the midline. From stomach 19 to stomach 30 is 2 sun lateral to the midline. And those are some tips that will help you. And locating on the abdomen, you can locate the distances 2 ways. One is you can go up here and see your 4 sun line and follow it down. Okay? And then you go halfway between here and the midline. Or, especially if they're laying down, this is easier. You go to what you think is 4 sun, you have them lift their head. They don't have to do a full crunch, just lift their head. When they lift their head, the rectus abdominis will engage, and you find the lateral border of that, which is here. And then you measure the halfway point. Okay? Because that's going to be 4 sun lateral to the midline. You can only use the cunometer here for vertical measurements. You can't do anything. You have to have a start and an end to have your cunometer. So we have our start here and an end here. And we have a start here and an end here. And if your cunometer only has the short measurements, or the 0 to 20, and there's nothing on the back, I posted at Veronica's request how to make a cunometer on live text, so you can see how to do the backside to get the longer measurements, which is what I used here on our body model. It makes it a little easier. Okay, thank you, body model.